William Brown put out a video recently that said you only need about 200 views per YouTube video to start making $10,000 a month selling coaching or consulting services. And when I saw that, I thought, yeah, he's right. Because I've witnessed this firsthand myself. One of my clients collected $25,000 off of a YouTube video that only got about 200 views. So the math is absolutely real. But there's one part of William's strategy that I think is going to cost a lot of people money if they follow it. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 200 view formula, prove to you it works, and then show you the piece that he left out. So if you're brand new to YouTube, chances are you've most likely been lied to, because most business owners approach YouTube like entertainment creators. They attribute success on YouTube to things like subscribers, obsessing over view counts, trying to crack the algorithm. But that game is designed for people who monetize through AdSense and brand deals, people who need millions of eyeballs and make their money directly from views. But you are not selling ad impressions. You're selling $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 services. So you do not need a million people. You need a handful of the right people who trust you enough to book a call. And there's an example William used in his video where he shared a story of a guy with over 4.1 million Instagram followers making less than $5,000 a month. Meanwhile, business owners with 300 to 500 subscribers are booking $20,000 to $40,000 months directly from YouTube. So the question is not, how do I get more views? It's how do I get the right 200 people to watch my content? So now I'd like to discuss the 200 view math. This is the napkin formula. This framework comes directly from William Brown, and I think is absolutely brilliant because it's super simple to actually track the metrics from your channel to know if you're doing well or not. So if you get about 200 views per video and only 1% of them book a call, that's 2 people. And if you're selling a $5,000 offer, that's potentially $10,000 from one YouTube video that only got 200 views. And even more so, if your offer is $15,000, that's 30 grand for you right there. So what you want to do is take your average sale price, multiply it by 2, and that's what one video is worth to you. But there's a very important caveat to this, obviously. The 1% conversion only works if those 200 people have a problem that you solve and the budget to pay you, obviously. And of course, this only works if your audience trusts you. So if you have no trust built in your marketplace to leverage, then you will have to build your trust by consistently uploading for at least 3 to 6 months with the right targeting. So if you're like brand new, you have no following on Instagram, X, LinkedIn, and you just start creating on YouTube, like if your first video gets 200 views, you probably won't get 2 booked calls from that. But once you build and establish enough trust in the marketplace, then you'll notice the bookings start to roll in. But again, building that trust is absolutely essential. So if you already have a proven offer and a following on a different platform, you could potentially start seeing these results right away. So now you know the math, 200 views, 1% conversion, and your price, that's the formula. But knowing the formula and actually getting the right 200 people to watch a video that then converts them into a sales call, those are 2 very different things. And that's what I help coaches, consultants, and agency owners do every single day. If you want my team to handle the strategy, the scripting, the editing, the uploading, and all the SEO for you, so all you have to do is show up and record for about an hour a week. There's a link in the description. You can book a call, no pressure. We'll just talk and see if it makes sense for your business. All right, now I want to prove to you guys that this does actually work by using 2 of my clients as an example. And you can watch both case study breakdowns on my channel right now. I'll put the links to those videos in the description below. So let's talk about client number 1. He's an accountant for construction businesses. It's extremely niche, not a sexy topic, and he was skeptical YouTube could even work in his space. But one video we did together, and this was within our first month, collected $25,000 in revenue, and that video had roughly 200 views. Not 200,000, not 20,000, 200, basically the exact number that William talks about. And my other client, Charlie, he runs a consultant program that was doing about $10,000 a month, all from referrals and cold outreach. We published about 10 videos total and went from 10K months to 30K months in basically less than 2 weeks. Most of his videos got a few hundred views. That did not matter. And the pattern across both of these is that they each relatively had a smaller audience, but they had very big revenue. And the pattern across both of these clients here is that their audiences both were relatively small, but they were generating big revenue. And their content was targeted at a very specific buyer, not a general audience. The viewers who watched their content were pre-sold by the time that they booked a call with them. And here's the section where I actually disagree with William's advice. So the advice he gave in his video is that You shouldn't script, you shouldn't edit, just go fully raw, hit record, talk, and upload. Don't even think about it. And his argument for this is that raw and authentic content outperforms polished and produced content. And he's got results to back it up. Like, William is an absolute monster in this space, collected over $8 million in 22 months from his channel, and he's exited multiple businesses. I believe one was a $16 million business, and he's got thousands of sales calls and decades of experience organizing his thoughts in real time. So he's able to get away with this because when he goes unscripted, his brain is literally the script. He could talk absolute gold 20 minutes straight. But where this falls apart is for most people and most coaches and consultants, when they sit down and hit record, they might end up rambling for 20 minutes, lose their train of thought, and they might end up with a video that doesn't lead their audience anywhere. And then it does not become raw and authentic. It just becomes kind of unfocused. And the stakes of being unfocused is if someone drops off at the 3-minute mark because you went on a tangent, that's not a lost viewer. That's potentially a lost $5, $10, $15,000 client. And every minute your dream client spends watching you, it needs to build trust and move them closer to a call. So having structure will not make you sound like a scripted robot. And the way we do the scripting for our business is that the hooks and the CTAs are all scripted word for word, but the body is scripted in a bullet pointed fashion so that you can just have a talking point and go. We have a really good team of editors that will cut you if you start to ramble. I'm someone who likes to talk a lot, so I know I need to be cut for sure. But the point is you make your points and then we transition from problem to solution. You can still be completely yourself, still conversational, still raw, but with intention behind every single section. And also, William can post these 28-minute unedited videos because his audience already trusts him deeply. If you're a consultant with only 300 subscribers, you don't really have that luxury of massive trust yet. We need to get to the point. We can't really just go off the cuff every single time. And also you might become inconsistent with that because if you don't already have set structure in front of you and you have to rely on getting this inspiration to speak and then go on a tangent about it, you might not be able to do that once a week for months consistently. So this is the complete system here. So William's math is the foundation, but this is the full equation. You need the right 200 people. So make content that speaks to your dream client's specific problem, not broad topics, not thought leadership, specific pain-based content that makes one person feel like you made the video for them. Then you need the right message. Structure your video so every minute builds trust and moves them toward a call. You need a strong hook, clear problem, valuable solution, and a direct call to action. You can deliver this authentically, but you need to know where you're going before you hit record. And then you need the right system. If you're doing everything yourself, topics, scripting, recording, editing, thumbnails, SEO, and uploading, you'll burn out before YouTube starts to work. The goal is 1 video per week, every week for months at a time. And that only happens if the only thing on your plate is showing up and being you. So William's right that you don't need to be a YouTuber. You don't need a massive audience whatsoever. I can absolutely guarantee you that, as I've seen it work for my clients and for myself. You don't need to crack any algorithm, but you also don't need to do it yourself. And trying to is the reason most business owners quit YouTube before the compound effect really starts to kick in. So William Brown is right. 200 views is all you need. The math works. And I've seen it work across completely different niches with my own clients. But the 200 view strategy works best when the content is structured, intentional, and built to convert, not just thrown at the wall and hoping the right people find it. If you're a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you want a YouTube channel that actually books sales calls from 200 views per YouTube video, that's what my team does every single day. We handle the scripts, the editing, the thumbnails, the uploading, everything for you so that you just have to show up and record for an hour a week, sometimes less. There's a link in the description for you to book a call if you want to talk about it. And if you haven't seen William's video yourself, you should go watch it. The guy is an expert. He absolutely knows what he's talking about. I'll leave the link to his video in the description as well. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.